Going, gone. That is music to the ears of an addict who just craves going to auctions for those bargains galore that you just know are waiting there. Fellow Toastmasters, while I was in the pastoral state of Indiana, the innocent state, you would never believe that I could develop such an addiction to auctions. But look, you have two folks from the city of Tampa. We go up into a very rural area of Indiana, and we've got time on our hands. What's there to do in a small town? Besides that, besides that. We ended up going to auctions. There were auctions every weekend. There were auctions on Thursday nights we attended. And if you were really lucky, you could catch the auctions over in the neighboring state of Ohio, because that was only 10 miles away. In no time at all, we had filled the apartment. We had gone up there with my little Saturn, with clothes, with the kitchenware that we needed, and with one TV set to while away the lonely hours. I never really had to use the TV set because we found auctions to go to. We bought our furniture. We started a hobby of collecting McCoy pottery, which we're still very active in it. McCoy was a very popular collectible. It was just starting out in popularity then, and we found that at every auction we went to. So we got a pretty good start on that collection. That addiction did not go away as we came back. Now, I have been to Indiana every year since we left there. We stayed with some friends. And every year we try to attend an auction that's held by Tom and Ralph, two of my favorite auctioneers. They're in their late 70s, and they are totally invigorated by auctions. We consider it a success when we can go to one of their auctions, and we did last September, and I got a very old piece of McCoy that I was very pleased with. The only thing that bothers me now that I'm flying up there, I can't carry anything of any size back. And you meet the nicest people at the auctions. The treasures, the things are treasures that are fun to get, but the real treasures are the people we meet. For example, just about every auction we went to up there, I met Leon Wise. Leon is an antiques dealer, and this is where he'd stock up at the auctions. Leon also has a private collection of World War II stuff. And he's a great source of knowledge. He'll tell you about any of the items there, unless he's going to bid on it. And you learn immediately that's the one thing to back away from. Don't fool with that. We also, this last summer, went up to Shipshawana, which is an auction that is held in Amish country in northern Indiana. Now this is the auction of all auctions. I spent 4 hours in a good-sized warehouse. There were 8 or 9 auctioneers in there, and it was just a cacophony of loquacious auctioneering. I loved it. At one point I stood where I could engage in 3 different auctions that were going on by me. The auctioneer each had a clerk. They would auction off the goods that one antique dealer had brought in. They'll move right to the next. But again, because we were traveling by air, I was limited. And I almost cried about the treasures that I couldn't bid on. My wife couldn't take it. Her senses were just totally overwhelmed. She and our friend Sharon went out to the Amish flea market that was going on next door, where they could take it one thing at a time. Now, last Saturday night, we went to the auction over in Largo. This is a fun auction, especially if you take a pair of friends that have never been to the auction. And we had a pair of friends. One came from Colombia, the other one from Puerto Rico. They didn't know what an auction was, but it didn't take long to learn. You get over there early enough to get signed in for your number, and then you want to travel up front and look at everything in front where the action's going to take place, because you won't be able to get there later. And when you get up there, there's the staff. They'll answer your questions. They'll bring the items out of the cases for you to look at. And sure enough, there was a piece of McCoy there. There was rosewood, there was crystal, there were coins, stamps, all the good stuff shoved up front of the cases. After I looked at that, I started moving around to the side, and the side's all right because, you know, you get tired of sitting, you can get up and you can check the side out anytime. The auctioneers over there are the entertainment. There's a husband and wife team, Claire and Carmen. Claire is the auctioneer and she runs the place, make no mistake about that. Carmen works the floor along with 2 or 3 other folks, and each take their turn holding something up. Claire will describe it. She will tell you what the defects are. She's very honest. But make no mistake, they are out to make money because this is their livelihood. Their livelihood is to get as much money as they can for that object. Your objective is to get that object as cheaply as you can. The bidding is an art in itself. Now, over on the side, I found something I was looking for, a black leather office chair. I've been keeping my eyes open for a bargain, and there it was. I looked it all over. There wasn't anything wrong with it except a layer of dust, which is to be expected at the auction. Set my price in my mind, and about 2 hours later, that chair comes up. Claire always starts out with a high price. Full bid $50 for this chair. Total silence. 40. 30. 20. And she immediately says, how about 30? Somebody else bids 30 on a draft. I've got competition. 40. My hand goes up again. The other one dropped out, so it was probably a dealer that didn't want to tie their money up in furniture, which is great. So I got my chair, I've got that cleaned up, I've got it sitting in my office. I am really tickled. The other couple, they were a delight to watch. They ended up buying a couple of dolls and boxes, Christmas things, but they had a ball that night. So what I'm going to suggest to you, go to the auction. Get there early, check things out. Set your prices so you don't get involved in auction fever. And you'd be surprised how easy that is. And pretty soon you will hear those great sounds, going, going, going.